Hello, my name is Andra Popescu. I am a teacher of English at school number 129 in Bucharest, and I hope you will enjoy our English class today. No, that's not me. Don't worry. You'll see me later. That's someone who enjoys spending time with books and who wants to advise you to do the same. Books rock, and believe it or not, they still have a lot to teach us, especially now, when we have some more time to be around them. My furry companion has convinced me to talk about fairy tales today. Well, you know, he likes fairy tales a lot, but then who doesn't? I like them for many reasons, and one of them is because they can have different forms. Fairy tales can be twisted. Let me give you an example. Do you remember Little Red Riding Hood? I'm sure you do. We all know what happened in that fairy tale. In Charles Perrault's version of the story, Mother asks the little girl to visit her ailing granny and take her some cakes. On her way to Granny's house, the girl meets the wolf. The wolf goes to grandmother's house and eats her up. Dressed in the old woman's clothes, he waits for the little girl and gobbles her up as well. I have already told you that fairy tales can be twisted, and the twisted version of Little Red Riding Hood is a poem called Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. The author is Roald Dahl. Yes, he's the guy who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, and a lot of other wonderful books. You didn't know that he also wrote poems? What a nice surprise to find that. Let's look at some things about Roald Dahl. His parents were Norwegian. He began writing from the age of 8, and he was good at sport because he was tall. Now let's take a closer look at this poem. You are going to listen to it. I have chosen a video with very nice voices and illustrations. Please watch the video in order to answer these questions. Question 1. Do the events in the poem take place in the same order as in the original fairy tale? Question 2. What happens in the end?
Roald Dahl's Revolting Rhyme.
Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. As soon as Wolf began to feel that he would like a decent meal, he went and knocked on Grandma's door. When Grandma opened it, she saw the sharp white teeth, the horrid grin, and Wolfie said,
"May I come in?"
Poor Grandmama was terrified. "He's going to eat me up," she cried. And she was absolutely right. He ate her up in one big bite. But Grandmama was small and tough, and Wolfie wailed,
"That's not enough. I haven't yet begun to feel that I have had a decent meal."
He ran around the kitchen yelping,
I got to have another helping.
then added with a frightful leer,
I'm therefore going to wait right here till little Miss Red Riding Hood comes home from walking in the wood.
He quickly put on Grandma's clothes. Of course he hadn't eaten those. He dressed himself in coat and hat. He put on shoes, and after that he even brushed and curled his hair, then sat himself in Grandma's chair. In came the little girl in red. She stopped. She stared. And then she said, "What great big ears you have, Grandma."
All the better to hear you with.
The wolf replied. "What great big eyes you have, Grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood.
All the better to see you with.
The wolf replied. He sat there watching her and smiled. He thought,
I'm going to eat this child. Compared with her old grandmama, she's going to taste like caviar.
Then Little Red Riding Hood said, "But, Grandma, what a lovely great big furry coat you have on!"
That's wrong!
cried Wolf.
Have you forgot to tell me what big teeth I've got? Ah, well, no matter what you say, I'm going to eat you anyway.
The small girl smiles. One eyelid flickers. She whips a pistol from her knickers. She aims it at the creature's head, and bang, 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 she shoots him dead. A few weeks later, in the wood, I came across Miss Riding Hood. But what a change! No cloak of red, no silly hood upon her head. She said, "Hello, and do please note my lovely furry wolf-skin coat."
What a nice performance. Do you agree? I have also posted a copy of the poem, and you can use it when you do the task or the tasks. I would like you to become familiar with this poem by the end of our meeting. Take some time to look at the poem, and then let's answer the questions. For question 1, do the events in the poem take place in the same order as in the original fairy tale? I suggest you could answer no. The order is different in the poem. The wolf goes straight to Grandma's house, eats her up, puts her clothes on, and waits for the little girl. She appears, they have a funny dialogue, and then she shoots him dead. For question number 2, what happens in the end? After killing the wolf, Little Red Riding Hood meets the narrator in the wood. She is now wearing a furry wolfskin coat. In order to become familiar with this funny poem, you have to do more tasks. Let's take a look at the next one. You have to mark these sentences true or false, and also to correct the false ones. 1. The wolf was still hungry after eating Grandma up. 2. The wolf didn't eat Grandma's clothes. 3. The wolf waited for Little Red Riding Hood in bed. 4. The girl found the wolf's big teeth lovely. 5. The girl hid the pistol in a pocket of her coat. Are you ready to check the answers? Okay, let's see. 1. The wolf was still hungry after eating Grandma up. True. 2. The wolf didn't eat Grandma's clothes. True. 3. The wolf waited for Little Red Riding Hood in bed. False. He waited for her on Grandma's chair. 4. The girl found the wolf's big teeth lovely. False. She didn't find his teeth lovely. She found his furry coat lovely. 5. The girl hid the pistol in a pocket of her coat. False. She hid the pistol in her knickers. Moving on, I'm sure you understood this poem very well. You will get to love it if you understand it better. Let's take a look at some vocabulary. For the next task, you have to find this information in the poem. A. A type of food. B. 6 words related to clothes. C. 2 synonyms of horrifying. D. A synonym of smile. and E, a similar expression to another serving. And now the answers. For A, a type of food, caviar. B, 6 words related to clothes. You have hat, coat, shoes, knickers, cloak, and hood. For C, 2 synonyms of horrifying. Horrid and frightful are the answers. For D, a synonym of smile, there is green, of course. And for E, a similar expression to another serving, you have second helping. And finally, the last task for you to become more familiar with this poem and to overcome any vocabulary difficulties. You have to match these words with synonyms in the poem. In the first column, you have 1. Yelp, 2. Leer, 3. Wail, 4. Flicker, 5. Whip. In the second column, you have A. Produce rapidly, B. Cry sadly, C. Howl, D. Malicious look, E. Blink one eye. And now let's check your answers. For 1, yelp, you have C. Howl. You know that sound animals like wolves and dogs can make. For 2, you have D. Leer, goes with malicious look. For 3, wail, goes with B. Cry sadly. For number 4, flicker, her eyelid flickers was in the text. You have blink one eye. And for number 5, the last one, whip, well, that is produce rapidly. Answer A. So, have you enjoyed working with Roald Dahl's poem? If you have, there are some extra activities you could do. For example, you could answer the question, is Little Red Riding Hood frightened of wolf? Support your answer with evidence from the text. There is also a worksheet you can complete. You will find it at www.englishexercises.org. Hello again. Well, what a twist of fate. Miss Red Riding Hood killing Wolfie with a pistol? Who would have thought? Do you remember our furry companion, the one with the books and the highlighter? I want to share another interesting fact with you today. Cats have 1,000 times more data storage than in an iPad. If they can store so much information, then for you it should be a piece of cake. Good luck and goodbye.